Good morning, Weldon Plum. Today I'm going to show you how to do decreases and increases with the Smocked Tunisian stitch. I'll show you what I've used these for. I've used them for a Christmas stocking. So this is a very large Christmas stocking. And to get the shaping around the bottom, you need to be able to do some increases and decreases. So I'm going to show you how to do those. The decreases are super easy and they are the same on both sides, whether you're doing it at the beginning of the row or the end of the row. So let me just show you how to do the decreases first. Now I always do increases and decreases on the row when I am starting with picking up 2. If you remember with the Smocked Tunisian stitch, every other row is different because on this row I'm starting with 2, on the next row I'll start with 1. So just to make it easy, I always start with 2 when I'm decreasing. Now if you don't know how to do the Tunisian smock stitch yet, I'll put a link to that under the video. So I'm going to decrease 2 stitches here by not just picking up these 2, but picking up the next 2 as well. So I'm going to pick up all 4. And I'm going to bring the yarn through, and I have just decreased 2 that way. So I'm going to do my yarn under, and then I'm just going to work across the rest of the row the same way I normally would. I get to the end, and then I just go back across in the reverse row just like normal. Do that chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way across. Sorry, it's curling there at the bottom and obscuring what you can see. Okay, there you can see I've done the decrease right there. Now the next row, which is where I'm just starting with 1, I'm just going to work it normally. So I'm going to catch that 1 and then I'm going to catch the next 2. Do my yarn under and just work all the way across as I normally would. Same thing in the reverse row. Just work across the reverse row like I normally would. And you can see how that has decreased and brought that stitch in a little bit. If I were going to do another decrease, again, this is a row that you start with picking up 2, so I would just pick up the 2 that I normally would plus the next 2, bring a loop through, and then I've decreased again. And you can see when you're doing it this way, you still have that nice line going right down the edge. So that is how you decrease on the right side at the beginning of the row. Now I'm going to show you how to decrease on the left side if you need to decrease at the end of the row. I'm going to again start with a row where I'm picking up 2, and I'm going to just work across like I normally would until I get to the last, what would be those upside down V's, the last 4 that I would normally pick up. Then I'm going to pick up all 4 of them. Instead of just 2, I'm picking up 4. Draw a loop through, and then just finish with your yarn under and grabbing that 1 in the end. I'm going to work back across the way I normally would. And there you can see that I've made a decrease, just the same as if it were at the beginning of the row. The row after the decrease, I just work normally. I'm going to pick up that 1 and then start picking up my pairs to go across. I'm going to work across just as normal. And then when I get to the end, I only have this 1 to pick up where I did the decrease in the previous row. And I'm going to get that that side stitch, which is sometimes a little bit naughty, and then work backwards as I normally would. Okay, and then you can see you have the decrease on this side. If I need to decrease again, I would do the same thing. I'd start with these two, work across until I get to the last 4, and pick up all of those for the decrease. So that is how you decrease on the left side. Now let's do an increase on the right side. Let's say you need to increase stitches on this side. What I'm going to do is, again, I'm starting with a row where I would normally pick up 2. This is what I would normally do. But instead of doing that, I'm going to increase by picking up 1, and then picking up the next one, and then doing a yarn under, and then doing that one more time. Pick up 1, pick up the next one, and do my yarn under. Now I have increased by 2. I'm just going to work across the rest of the row as I normally would, picking up 2 and doing my yarn under between them. And then the row going back, you just work as normal. Got a bunch of extra stitches. Well, I actually only have 2, but it can feel like there's a bunch of extra stitches in here. So the next row, I'm going to do just like I normally would. I'm going to start by picking up 1, and I don't do the yarn under after it. Now it can be a little bit tricky to see which ones to pick up here, but I want to get this one and that little one that's beside it, and then a yarn under, and then I want to get this one and this one, pick those up and a yarn under, and then I'm back to where I would normally pick up pairs. And finish as I normally would. And then go back across as normal. And then you can see that you've got your increase. Now when you do this increase on the right side, you do end up, let me show you in my Christmas stocking, it looks a little bit different because what you end up with is sort of this doubled line coming down on the increase. I have not found a way to get away from that. Maybe somebody smarter than I am can figure out how to increase without creating this double line, but that's the best way I've found to do it. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to increase on the left side. This is the one that's a little bit tricky, and you may curse the day I was born. It's not terrible, you just really have to pay attention to what you're doing. So again, I'm going to start on a row where I start out picking up 2, and I'm going to work across all the way just like I normally would. And I'm even going to finish this row by catching that one in the end. Now here's where I make the increase. I'm going to chain 2, then I'm going to pick up a stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then that becomes the new end stitch. I'm going to put a chain in it, and then yarn over, pull through 2 all the way across. So that is how you do an increase of 2 on the left side. So I'm working back across like I normally would. Now when you get to the next row, and you're going to start with 1, we're going to work across as normal until we get to those stitches that we added, and it's going to look a little confusing. So I'm all the way across. Now I'm to the last one here and these stitches that I added. I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to pick up this one to go with it because I need a pair. So there's my pair, and I do my yarn under. Now I need one more because I need a single one sticking out here on the end. So what I do is just go in here and pick up something. Pick up kind of anything that's sort of tucked in the back, hanging out there. I just need an extra one. And then I'm also going to pick up in the end like normal. Okay? And then I'm going to do my chain one and go across. I'm going to do one more increase in this side, again, because this one's a little bit tricky and it can be kind of hard to see what you're doing. So I'm just finishing up that row as normal. And you can see I've got the increase there. Now I'm on a row where I start with 2. So I'm going to do another increase on the left side. I'm going to pick up 2 and I'm going to go all the way across. Again, you go all the way across and actually finish this row before you do the increase. And there is my last pair. I'm going to end the row by picking up a loop in the side. Now I want to do another increase. So I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to pick up a loop in the second chain from the hook, and then I'm going to chain that and then yarn over, pull through 2 across to go back. And then I'll show you the follow-on row one more time because I know this one's kind of tricky. So each time you do this increase, you are increasing by 2. All of the decreases and increases that I've shown you today are by 2, because with the smocked stitch you need to keep it in pairs of 2. Okay, now I'm to where I'm just picking up 1. So I pick up 1 and then my 2 and yarn under and do that across. Okay, now I'm getting to where I need to make another pair. So I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna pick up this one. It really doesn't matter what you pick up as long as you have a pair. And my yarn under, and now I'm gonna pick up this one for my little extra leg on the end. And then I go in the edge. And then I'm ready to go back across. So I do my chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2 all the way across. And my extra light just died. Getting enough light to make these videos has been the most difficult part of videography for me. So I apologize that my videos are not always as professional as I would like them to be. So there you go, that's how you increase on the left side. So now you can make increases and decreases on the right and the left side, and you can make all kinds of crazy things like Christmas stockings. Hope you enjoy.